Hello and welcome to round 2 of the Community Cup. I'm Brian David Marshall. I'm joined by Pro Tour Hall of Famer Randy Buehler, and we are watching a couple of people who don't, necessarily play as much Magic as everyone else in the room here. Helen Bourgeot. There you get a look at her. She's Director of Global Organized Play. All right, never loses a game of Magic because her opponent just receives a bye. All right. Yeah, she's very, very active on Twitter.
Oh yeah,
is always
she's
talking
awesome.
to people, and that's not really her Twitter pose there with
the fist.
Yeah, she's very engaging and very, very helpful.
Listens, takes things seriously,
yeah.
And I mean, I've always been impressed by how quickly Wizards will listen and make changes if somebody has a suggestion for how they could be doing better. They're listening.
There you get a look at Cheon Plott, better known to many fans of gaming as Day 9. He loves to draft. He's a professional gamer, shoutcaster, and streamer.
Yep.
And does the Spell Slingers show with Geek and Sundry.
That's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Day 9 going to be taking on Helen here. There you get a good look at them. I don't know how Helen's rings are always entertaining to watch.
Cheon was fascinated by her rings last night at dinner. They talked extensively about them. All right, and there you see Cheon's on the bottom. Helen's hand up on top. I mean, she ended up with a really solid Goblin deck.
Yeah, the curve's not awesome there. I mean, the commander's going to take a while to get there. She's only got the 2 lands. I mean, her draw, I feel like, needs a little bit of help, but I guess Cheon's draw's not particularly fast either. He's got some land cyclers to sort of set up, but doesn't have any creature that's cheaper than the guy's Embrace right now. Should be a good matchup, actually. I mean, both decks are maybe going to...
Are we going to see Gaia's Embrace on a Noble Templar? Is that what you're...
That would be kind of slow but insane if we get there.
Oh, wow. Fire Blast for Helen.
Yeah, I mean, she gets to make a Prospector.
She can just, sacrifice all of her permanents in this game.
Yes. I'm not sure that's the right play, but definitely an option.
She has 3 Chain Lightnings. I thought that was...
Yeah, her deck looks good. She won the first game in the first round. I guess both these guys lost their first round. Helen was up a game, but lost the 2 sideboarded.
There's a Crozen Vorine, which is...
Oh, my. You saying that's a good thing to put Gaia's Embrace on?
Yes, it is.
You know what I think happens there? I think you sacrifice your mountains if that's about to happen to you. I think Fire Blast may have a thing or two to say about that. But that's a couple turns from now. We'll see how the rest of the game plays out. She might also just Chain Lightning it as soon as it hits the table. Yeah, Cheon, all he can do right now is Land Cycle.
Right. Land Cycle.
Which he probably will want to do.
His Tusker.
Yeah, I think he's cycling for the next couple of turns and hoping that Helen's draw isn't too fast. Which we can see it isn't.
Right, yeah. I mean, she's got a 5-drop Goblin, and, she's got the Falter. You
don't want Falter in the opener.
Yeah.
Like, when your opener is Prospector, well, 3rd land is nice. Now she can at least Matron on turn 3. Play something else on turn 4, but nothing to do on turn 2. This is not really where the Goblin deck wants to be. She's, I'm sure, got plenty of 2-drops. Just
she can Matron theoretically, if she
sack Prospector for Matron.
Sack Prospector for Matron. I mean, I wouldn't, I don't think she had anything that you would want to do that.
She has Beetleback Chief is what she would get, but then without the Prospector, she can't play it next turn.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think you just attack with Prospector. I don't think it's worth stacking it to get the Matron out of turn early.
And yeah, she does have a Beetleback Chief in her deck.
Yeah. Cheon cycles away the Elvish Aberration.
You see Helen clicking on. She's like, make sure I played a land this turn. I'm just going to click on this land.
I do that too.
I do, absolutely.
I think I played a land, but there's no reason not to click on this land in my hand.
So, no play here for Cheon. He's going to, cycle Tusker at the end of her turn. I mean, Tusker with Gaia's Embrace would actually be, I think, the pinnacle. Like that's
Templar's got vigilance.
I know, but you unlock. It's such an achievement. Like you already unlock a minor achievement by just playing the Tusker.
Yeah, it's hard for him not to wind up in the graveyard. Yeah. Somehow, turn 3, he always heads to the graveyard.
All right, so this is going to be.
Usually, when I have Tusker in play, it's because I paid 7 life for it.
Yeah. Oh.
What is she?
Helen is playing Chain Lightning.
Chain Lightning your face? Wow.
Oh. Is it hot in here? Okay. And then
Here
Cheon,
comes that
Cheon,
Vorian. He declines
Cheon,
to cycle Tusker?
Cheon has some aspirations to cast the Tusker. He heard about the achievement. Helen's like thinking about her Chain Lightning, obviously.
Yeah,
she's just going to draw one right here. She's just going to draw another one right now. I didn't want to reveal my mutant power on the air, but I felt like this was a good opportunity.
Wow. No Vorian for you. No Gaia's Embrace target. And now she's got the 3 mana for the Goblin Matron.
And Sean's thinking like, oh, I guess that's why she Chain Lightning me there.
The other play she could have done there, she could have actually sacked.
But she didn't play the Matron.
I don't know what Matron's being saved for. She could have also sacked Prospector to play Commander there. Kill the Vorian that way.
Oh, yeah. This is...
Brilliant Halo joins Gaia's Embrace in the cards you don't have enough mana to play category.
The green-white auras deck. It's just green and white and has auras. Okay. Here's a Goblin Matron. Maybe, I guess she was thinking about her Storm count. She wanted to play Goblin Matron and a Goblin. What cheap goblins does she have?
Don't you just always want to get Beetleback cheap?
I always want to get... I mean, yes.
She probably is a general, but she doesn't really want to sack Prospector for it, so she gets the Beetleback Chief, yeah.
Okay.
Seems correct.
It's also conceivable that Aaron was involved in a complex play and was not able... these guys are coming over and, coaching and... Wow. So, we're going to see... Oh.
Noble Templar?
We are going to see Noble Templar, Gaia's Embrace. Yeah. It's not... It is certainly... I mean, it is no Crows and Tusker.
3/6 means that...
if he draws a land, he could play the Crows and Tusker. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that Noble Templar is gigantic here. Helen draws Mana Vault.
So she's going to play...
she could have actually gone Commando Fire Blast to clear the Templar out of the way. It's probably... She doesn't know Gaia's Embrace is coming, though. It's probably not worth it. Just playing Beetleback Chief here is pretty good.
I mean, then...
Trying to set up to a giant swarm next turn.
Sean's pretty low.
She's looking at the...
Oh, I think she's doing that right now.
Sure. Sean mugging to the camera. Does he think he's mic'd?
I don't know.
Nobody tell him.
Okay. So no seventh land for Sean, which is very disappointing. Yeah.
And Helen declined to play Beetleback Chief.
She declined to play Beetleback Chief, and she also declined to kill the...
I don't know that I would have killed Templar there. I mean, it's easy to say kill it when we can see the guys in place. But yeah, she should have played the Beetleback Chief.
Yeah, now that is a nice... I mean, the red deck actually just has no possible outs to a 6. You know, I guess Rites of Initiation, Falter is an out to everything. And then, oh, the Deathblade Elite.
That guy's embraced the Noble Templar is kind of big.
It's just huge. I mean,
I don't know what the Goblin deck does about 6/9 trampling, regenerating.
I mean, you have to falter past it.
Yeah. Yeah, she if she has time to get Beetleback Chief into play and falter, that's a ton of damage, right? 2, 3, 4, 5. It'd be 6 damage plus the Fire Blast in theory. She's running out of time though.
There's another land.
Commando can kill Deathblade Elite.
I mean, it just shows. I mean, Helen does not play a lot of Magic, and is not necessarily familiar with the cards. But I mean, it really just shows you a little bit of, like, about sequencing and about like what order you play your cards in. Like, can you imagine if instead of she just holds that Chain Lightning,
right,
and on turn 3 plays a Goblin Matron for her Beetleback Chief,
right?
Which she ended up drawing. But
no, she eventually got it off the Matron, but
yeah, oh right, yeah.
She could have played the Matron on turn 3, the
and
Beetleback
on turn 4.
Or Commando to kill the Vormir.
And there's almost no way Cheon can win that game.
Yeah, I agree. Cheon's draw was really slow. If Helen had sequenced out her beatdown, sort of aggressively played creatures, you know, tapped the Mage, she could have this turn have tapped Mana Vault to pay for Commando and then been able to play the Beetleback again, for example. She just could have gotten her creatures onto the table more aggressively.
Right.
And then that Falter would have been lethal.
Falter would have been lethal. Fire Blast is probably lethal.
Right.
Or, you know, gives you this, like, in case of emergency, break glass card.
So what you're saying is it's a skill game?
Yes.
Yeah.
And also that it's very easy to take for granted
how much we've learned over the years.
Yeah, how much you learn playing the game all the time and being familiar with the cards and just having the ability to sort of sort through those possibilities.
True.
You know, you know, I've actually taught a ton of people to play Magic over the last couple of years, and you know, it's interesting to watch them. You know, accumulate that experience and knowledge. Oh yes, we're going to see a Tusker in play. Brilliant Halo on a Tusker is also...
That counts?
You know, yeah, I'll count that. I will give him full marks on his player card for that. They're like, what could she have? She's got 3 cards in her hand.
I'm not sure this is the one where Cheon needs the help.
I mean, you know,
it's not over yet.
She's holding 9 points of damage,
right,
out of nowhere.
She's not going to survive another turn, though. She's going to start chump blocking Tusker.
Yeah.
And I guess if she plays Beetleback and then chumps Tusker, it's not 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
right,
7. She can deal like 11. Yeah, she'd have to, and then draw Chain Lightning. That's the line. They can still win this. She can take one more hit from Templar, chump the Tusker. Oh, Prospector helps. Now she's like 1 point away.
Yeah,
yeah, that
was definitely the look on Helen's face. She's like, isn't someone... where's my Paul Cheon?
There we go.
Okay. Oh, really?
Turian has won his match already.
Yeah.
Wow, beat Erin Campbell pretty quick.
What do you think goes
So,
through
yeah, from
Turian's
here-
head when he looks at the board,
It's like
the
how are those
land,
cards-
and the hand, like, and he sorts through the implications of how things were sequenced?
Right. All right. Play
Now
the prospector.
Prospector.
Now your job is to draw a burn spell next turn and win this game anyway.
Right. She needs to find
Any burn spell.
1 point of damage.
Yeah, 1 point. She's 1 point.
A spark spray does it for her.
Sure. Oh, Elephant Guide. Never mind. Put Elephant Guide on the Trampler, and now Helen cannot afford to take the Templar hit. She's going to have to soak up trample damage.
Sean's like, I got this.
Yep, Elephant Guide on the Templar. You can tell Helen knows that's bad. This is not hard to figure out. That thing's been hitting me for a lot, and now it's bigger.
So you block with a 2/2. Is he only attacking with that?
So it's 9 power. You have to soak up 2 damage.
Yeah.
You just stick Commando in front of it.
Right.
Or Beetle back.
Go to 1.
And then top deck. Chain Lightning's still good enough.
11. Yeah.
Chain Lightning's still good enough. There's a third one in her deck. Soak 2 damage. Knock the top of your deck. That's the line here.
Do you actually knock the top of your... Do you ever, like, tap your screen to, like, knock the top of
I
your deck?
knocked the table.
Yeah.
I knocked the place where my deck would be if I was playing with a physical deck.
So it's like Phantom Limbs. You can feel, like, the
that.
cards there.
Something like that. They
All
should
right.
totally add a knock deck button to Magic Online, don't you think?
I would make it a top priority.
That and a shuffle button. It's just like shuffle my deck again.
Okay.
No, I don't think it's shuffled enough.
So,
All right.
so we're going to 1 here.
Yep, going to 1. Soaking up 2 points, trampling over for 7.
And, wow. I mean, Helen could still win.
She could still win
So
this.
insane. Like, even playing the Brilliant Halo, I mean, you had to attack with the Tusker there, I guess, to sort of start getting out of range. Like, you put the Halo on,
Yep.
and then attack with the Tusker also, and then she has to put 2 creatures in front of the Templar. And
He wants blockers, though.
Yeah.
I mean, I think having it, eating somebody who jump blocks is almost as good as blocking when all the creatures are dorks.
Okay. Here we go.
Survey says...
What's she gonna draw? Oh.
Skirk Drill Sergeant. Not going to get there. Alright, yeah. I mean, this...
Like
There's no way Cheon messes this up from here. Game, obviously, she might be able to chump block and survive another turn, hypothetically.
I don't.
But
She's at 1. I can't.
she's got 9 toughness. 1,
She's
2,
got-
3,
she's got
4,
9
5,
toughness.
6. She's got 8 toughness. My apologies. Yeah.
That's
I can get
what-
a haster? Is that the line here? Awesome. That's hilarious. Mike found it. Sure, tap the mana vault to pay for this. Red and 2, okay. I think Mike needed to show up a few turns earlier, but he is milking this for all it's worth. Does she have a chieftain?
Well, a chieftain would be insane.
Mountain.
Ah, it's
Mountain.
Always, it's always mountain.
I mean, run it back, right? You got to lose. What did that one reveal? Oh. Oh, she sacked the prospector, so...
Right.
I mean, sacked the drill sergeant, so no more triggers. Cheon wins. Game 1!
Clearly very excited.
So, you mentioned Mike has already defeated Erin Campbell. We do have another result. This one for the community team.
Ooh.
Frank Lepore defeats Tom Lapilli.
So he's 2-0.
Yeah.
Good job by Frank.
Frank is that right? Frank has 2 of the community team's 3 wins at this point.
He does.
I'm not saying that, Marshall. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm not going to say that either. That's very uncharacteristic of you, though. I will say that.
Worth and Mariah look like they're on to game 3.
Yeah. Dave Humphrey's
Cheon
up a game.
is enjoying himself.
Yeah, he is. He's
a character.
He's like pickles, cheese, and a flat press away from being a Cubano sandwich.
A lot of ham. That was
yeah, a lot of ham.
All right, looks like the game is up.
All right, and we're already underway, and a Skirk Prospector on turn 1 from Helen. Sean's hands.
Yeah, it's all right.
A little better, right? He's going to play the
fine.
turn 2 Emissary.
I don't know if it's better. It's cheaper, slightly. He does get to make a turn 2 play. Helen's curve's a little nicer.
Oh my.
Helen's draw just got insane. That Sulfuric Vortex is going to be a problem. That's one of the scariest cards the Goblin deck can get access to. I think she's better off. She plays Drill Sergeant here and then Vortex next turn.
Yes.
Probably the right line. But whatever. As long as Vortex hits the table in the next couple of turns, it's going to be really hard for Cheon to win this game. Yeah, he plays an Emissary.
So it doesn't quite have Shadow, but it's like, fittingly for Cheon, it's a try-hard.
That is how he describes himself,
Yes.
a casual try-hard.
Yeah. He's like, I can get Shadow if I really want it.
Funny.
And he is.
I'm pretty sure
he is
Mike walked
clearly
away
not.
because Helen declined to play a 2-drop.
Yeah. Yeah, Helen did not play her Skirk Drill Sergeant. And again, it's sequencing. So she's going to play 2 creatures this turn. Let's see. She's holding an Aftershock. Yep. There we go. Forest for Cheon. So Sean's got not a super exciting draw here, but that Sapperling Burst is. I'm curious to see him where Sapperling
Where he
Burst
goes
is,
with Sapperling
where
Burst?
his sweet spot is for Sapperling Burst.
Usually a 2/5/5s guy.
Yeah.
I mean, it depends on the situation, obviously,
Yeah.
but I keep dreaming of Fires of Yavimaya with Sapperling Burst.
Yes.
I haven't actually gotten.
I have not either.
I mean, it's like a rare comboing with an uncommon in a color combination that isn't awesome. So I keep taking the fires and thinking maybe I'll get a Sapperling Burst. Yeah. Never actually pulled it off.
I rarely end up with fires.
Yeah, I'm usually the guy cutting them off like 6th or 7th.
Sure.
Because I don't want somebody
to
do that to me.
Now I know who to blame.
Like the red-green deck can be good if you have fires.
Right.
But it's not generally a great archetype. So.
Okay. All right. We've got some red zone action here with lowercase r, lowercase z. Sorry. So some actual attacking creatures. We were talking about the Drill Sergeant earlier. I mean, this can be a really exciting card in the Goblin deck.
Yeah. I mean, it's 2 mana, 2-drop, 2 power, 2-drop is fine. It's got the right creature type, it's got the right power and cost. But that ability kicks in more often than you'd think it would. So often you're attacking in and they're blocking to trade. So, being able to potentially flip a Goblin off the top of your deck when you've got like 15 of them in your deck
And when you have a prospector and you can sort of do it,
Extra mana.
yeah, you can trigger it, pay for it, and get all kinds of crazy. Cheon is oh, Cheon's there. All right, now we got Tom Lepore helping Helen. Which means we'll see Skirk Prospector and Sulfuric Vortex post-combat, I'm assuming. Oh, okay. So the Drill Sergeant got blocked.
Yeah.
So is she is gonna pay and see what happens. Again, it's always Mountain.
Wow.
It's always Mountain.
She does get to follow up with the second prospector.
Yeah.
I think that's why this line. You can see the standings getting updated in the bottom. Any of you who are capable of doing math will see the community team has a 4th win.
Oh, who was that?
Scott MacCallum.
Okay. So, and he got their first one, so he's 2-0.
Oh, wow. They've
Right? Because he beat
Scott
Helen
and
in
Frank
round
are,
1.
Scott and Frank are 2, yeah. I don't know. Do we want to spoil the Paul Cheon Aaron Forsyth results, or do we want to go through it in the red zone? I think we'll wait for let's red zone that one.
So there's the Curzon Voreen for Cheon. Oh, and there's a Beetleback.
Yeah, Cheon is set up to go Elephant Guide on the Voreen. It's kind of the dream with the Voreen is that you're able to Elephant Guide it.
But
I think Commando is going to make sure that doesn't happen.
Yes.
Yeah, I like that line.
Goblin Commander takes out the Voreen. Like, just don't let it. Right? Tom's just saying, don't let him untap and put Elephant Guide on that thing.
Yep. Prospector keeps chipping away.
But we're going to have a Sapperling Burst next turn.
That does make things a little interesting. I mean, Beetleback Chafe will do a pretty good job of taking the sting out of that Sapperling Burst.
Ooh!
Or
a classic! Urnum Jin.
Yeah, I think Sapperling Burst is better here, though. It uses your mana more efficiently. Yeah. Follow up with Ernie next turn.
See Helen's face, she's like, ugh, what is that card? Yuck. Man, Paul Cheon is like the guy in a cop movie who's now talking to the guy who's defusing the bomb. And he's like, follow my instructions very carefully. All right. Aftershock. Enchantment is like basically the one thing Aftershock doesn't deal with. Alright, here's the Beetleback Chief. Couple of tokens. So now Cheon, you think 2 5/5s go down to 4 4s? It's not great all of a sudden.
Yeah, maybe you only make one. I mean, the question is he attacking or blocking? I mean, you could make one 6/6, which will fall to a 5/5. You can potentially attack with it. Probably. Yeah, the 2 5/5s plan.
Yeah, annoying. Oh.
So yeah, Sapperling Burst, you can take counters off to create token creatures. Those token creatures have power and toughness equal to the number of counters on Sapperling Burst.
Let's show you all the text on that
Lots and lots of text on that card. It fades, so it loses a counter every turn. Eventually those creatures are going to wither away to nothing and die. The more creatures you make, the faster that happens. So he's gone with 2 creatures, which makes a lot of sense here.
I was wondering for a second if you could Elephant Guide the token, but it doesn't actually. They don't actually become 0/0s. You can't. You actually destroy all the creatures made with Sapperling Burst when Sapperling Burst leaves play. So.
Yeah, we're not blocking. I didn't realize how thick that was.
4/4's crunch. Sean's playing attacking. And I think that makes sense. I mean, the fact that the Sapperling Burst is going to fade away, you can't just like build a defense because they're going to wither away.
Right.
So get in the red zone.
And here comes an Ermgen, and then Helen's going to have a forest walking Skirk Prospector or something.
Yeah, drawback of Ermgen. Not a big deal when your opponent's creatures are this small.
Yeah, there you see Ermgen, famously a prefix to decks like Ermgeddon. Oh. And Ernem and Burnham. So Aftershock is going to take out the Ermgen. And then, you can't attack here. She makes one. He makes 1/3/3. That seems fine, actually, right? Oh no, she's at 9.
She has Fire Blast. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. She can deal 11 on the spot. She's not good enough. Yeah, if she attacks, Sean has the ability to make a 3/3 with Sapperling Burst and block.
Alright.
She attacks with the pair of 2/2s. Interesting. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, here comes a 3/3.
Absolutely. That means those creatures are going to go away sooner, but he gets to eat one of Helen's creatures, so this seems totally correct.
Are we fire blasting that thing?
Really?
Yeah!
Wow.
Yeah, we are.
Huh.
See a couple mountains going to the temporary zone.
You have to choose the order you want them to go to the graveyard in. Obviously.
Yeah. There's Fire Blast. What a just insane card throughout its entire history in Magic.
Definitely. Yeah, that takes out the token, and so she's able to chip away for 4 damage here.
Right, and that's why you're only sending in the 2 power creatures, because now even if Sean made another token, it's a 2, and then at least you're getting a trade there.
Right.
So Sean's going to go to 13. Community teams rallying here, by the way.
Yeah,
if you
that's
look at those
what,
standings.
4 wins?
Yeah.
4 wins and counting. Well, it's 4-2 so far this round. Favor of the community team.
Here comes an Elvish Aberration, I believe.
May as well attack with your 2/2s, right?
Yeah.
She's down to 9.
Or do you want to get your emissary down with an elephant guide? The Elvish Aberration's so big.
Yeah. Honestly, part of it depends on... Yeah, her taking the damage down to 5 makes Emissary plus Elephant Guide look pretty tempting.
Yeah.
Like, it's a 5-power Shadow guy. Essentially forces her to win right now.
Right.
And it's almost as good at blocking. Yeah, I mean, you have a 5/4 Elephant Guide instead of Elephant Guide blocker instead of an Elvish Aberration. I think Emissary plus Elephant Guide would have been better there. But this is probably good enough. She needs to draw a Falter. She basically needs to play for drawing a Falter, right?
But that's not even going to be enough.
Well, how much damage could she get through this turn is the question. Like, you attack with a bunch of guys, let the Aberration eat one of them.
Right, it's going to eat a 2.
She needs 1 chump blocker.
Right.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, without an attack there. I don't know how she wins this next turn. I guess... Funny,
help.
another Elephant Guide. I guess it's not like she's in any danger of dying here. from her perspective.
Right.
Like the board, she can jump block for a while and draw multiple cards to get her out of this. She's almost outlasted the Saproling Burst. What we know is that Cheon has the ability to make a lethal shadow creature for next turn.
Right.
And now his hand doesn't let him do anything else, so it's almost certainly going to happen.
Forced play.
Pretty close.
He can make it like almost double lethal. Although not this turn. Okay, yeah.
I guess the
see
danger
Paul.
is Spark Spray or something as a response.
Right.
So he may actually be afraid to risk Elephant Guide on a 2-1.
Oh,
if
so
it got killed as a response.
So they're putting Elephant Guide on the tokens.
So now when Saproling Burst fades away, it'll destroy that Saproling token. But the
then
Elephant Guide, the
right,
creature,
it'll-
the Elephant Guide is enchanting, got destroyed, so he will wind up with a 3-3. Pretty good line. And now, yeah, crunching over with the 4/4s. And he can even run out the Emissary.
Right, yeah.
Potentially make it lethal next turn when hopefully she's tapped out.
Right, and then Helena's got to sort of start narrowing her outs by chump blocking here.
Looking pretty good for day 9. That's the short version.
Right, so this is a big comeback, a big rally round for the community. This will be the 5th win.
Yeah, and it looks like Watsy just won a 3rd round, so I believe this is the last round going. Yep, this is the last round left.
Tom trying to figure out what possible outs there are here.
Yeah, so this will get the community team to... Alright, so this win will take the community team to 21.
Wow.
2 matches back.
Wow, that's huge.
It's a big recovery. I mean, 6-2, 5-3 takes a lot of this thing out of that 6-2.
All right, we're bashing here.
Huh.
We know there's another Elephant Guide.
Yeah, there's no way out of this.
And now Tom probably knows that there's another Elephant Guide. I think you would almost, gladly trade there.
Yeah, I mean, there's chump blockers available, but this Elephant Guide...
Yeah, that's
and
going
then
on
the
the
activated shadow. Paul Cheon is pointing things. Yep, once that resolved, I think they knew. Might as well attack with everybody else.
Send the team.
It's a Cheon Plott.
Yeah, on the board.
Wins a pretty tough matchup.
So you
That's
like
a big round for the community team.
You like goblins in the green-white auras matchup?
Well, I mean,
in
the way these games played out, his auras deck is a little slower than the ones a lot of people will draw.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, his draws didn't come out super fast. They're the kind of draws that the goblins deck can beat. I actually prefer the auras deck in general, but his draws I thought were not the fastest. So escapes with a win anyway.
Yeah. And so all the matches have been done, and that was pretty crazy.
Yeah.
But we're going to see one of the matches. We don't know how this one is played out.
Right.
It's Paul Cheon versus
Erin
Forsyth, and Marshall Sutcliffe has that all queued up in the red zone.
That's right. We're in the red zone. We're ready to go. So let's head right down to the feature area here. I've got Paul Cheon. He's going to be on the bottom part of your screen here. And he's facing down the menace that is Erin Forsyth. Erin running this nearly mono blacklist. And as you're going to see in game one, start things off with a fledgling Djinn, no problem, right? Like that's something that can be dealt with. And in fact, it does with Chainer's Edict. And then Choking Sands. Erin Forsyth, all about fun. Carnophage is the next play, which is fine. It's up against a Nightscape Familiar, so he's going to be able to beat down for a little bit here. Doesn't play anything on the fourth turn. Takes a little medicine, and then boom. Killer Whale, 1 turn early for Paul Cheon here. And he's going to begin the beatdowns. He's got a Keen Eye Aven here as well. And as you can see, Erin Forsyth struggling here. As Cheon has taken the aggressive stance in this particular game. In fact, he's even untapping his Killer Whale, paying for Paralyze here just to get his beatdown on and try to finish off Erin here. Erin has a Dark Hatchling, but as we can see, Cheon has a counterspell, and that seals the deal there. Now, I want to take a look at, I believe game 1 is the one that we want. Let's take a look if this is the right one. Same 2 players, Rashad. So, this is it. That was... No. Here, I'll just replay that says game 2, which hopefully will be game 1. Alright, Sarcomancy, a good start here for Erin in this game, and he follows it up with Hymn to Turok, hitting Mana Vault and Plains, which is pretty nasty. Mesmeric Fiend grabs an opposing Mesmeric Fiend, but a second Hymn to Turok just wipes out Cheon's hand here. But Cheon gets to reload with Plea for Power. And this is where it gets kind of interesting here. Fledgling Djinn for Erin says, well, I've got a bigger board than you, so you've got to come up with something, and you're under your own Mana Vault. So now Erin gets to start really laying down the beatdown. The him, I win plan is fully in effect here for Erin Forsyth. And Cheon has to use an entire turn to untap his Mana Vault here. Such a clunky card. It gets you those explosive starts, but then it really demands a lot of you later, especially when you're being beaten down. And especially when you have Laquatus' champion facing you down. And that's going to seal the deal there for Erin. Now, let's take a look at the other game, because we get to, this is actually, so the one that said game 1 was actually game 3, and this one is going to be game 2. That was game 1 that we just watched. And this one's really interesting because we get to see a showcase from Paul Cheon here on one of the more powerful Magic cards ever printed. He's going to get Deep Analysis going. Mesmeric Fiend is going to snipe away his Swords to Plowshares, just basically protecting it. Here's Keen Eye Aven. And here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Future Sight has hit the battlefield, and it does not go anywhere. And Paul Cheon is able to ride this Future Sight. And he gets so much value off of this thing. He's playing extra lands. He's just churning. So Erin just actually had to give Paul Cheon an extra turn instead of the cards off of Plea for Power. That's where it got to at this point. And as you can see, Paul Cheon, with all of these extra cards, is able to really just leverage that Future Sight in a huge way. Here he's just going to completely tap out for Death Scraps to take down the Mesmeric Fiend, reveals an Aquamoeba. So basically he gets to play any card on the top. But the thing about Future Sight is that when you play it, there's another card there. And you get to play that one too. Scrivener to keep the value train rolling. You see he expertly keeps up 2 islands for the counterspell sitting on top of his Future Sight. And this is just way too much for poor Erin to overcome. He's stuck on 4 lands here. And he's digging, you know, he uses a Crozen Tusker to get his swamp so he can keep playing more things. But the problem is, as you can see, we're talking about Fallen Ascaris here, while Paul Cheon is playing 2 to 3 cards per turn. He's sitting there with, you know, 9 or 10 mana available. He's on Threshold thanks to the Hymn to Turok, and it's all that Erin Forsyth can do just to keep beating down here. So eventually Paul Cheon's able to ride out this Future Sight and pick up the match here against Erin Forsyth. So another key victory here for the community team, is they had a really bad start, and now they're all of a sudden rallying. Why don't we send it back to the main booth, BDM and Randy.
Thanks, Marshall. Yeah, I mean, plead for power. What do you do there? You've got future sight and play. You cast plead for power. What does your opponent do?
Yeah, I would actually give him the cards, but
like you just hope to glut him.
yeah, exactly.
Right? You're like you're gonna just have too many things to do.
No, you can't. When you have future sight running, you often accumulate a bunch of cards in hand that you never have the mana to play. I don't know.
Yeah,
it's certainly a rough spot. And yeah, Paul on the board with a win. 5-3. The Community Cup team wins that round. Okay, so we now have an interview.
So yeah, Nate Price is sitting with Scott MacCallum, and we're gonna set it down to the floor and see what he has to say about the resurgent Community team.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Magic Online Community Cup. I am Nate Price, one of the community managers here at Wizards, and I'm here with Scott MacCallum, Mr. Scotty Mac himself. How's it going, Scotty?
Good. Thank you very much for having me, yeah.
Anytime, yeah. So we've just finished round 2 of Vintage Masters. You're currently sitting pretty 2-0, am I right about that?
I am, yeah, currently. I've won my matches against both Helen and Ryan Spain.
See, Mr. Beard himself, you didn't fear the beard.
In this round, I did not fear the beard. I respected the beard, but I was not afraid.
So we talked a little bit earlier. You've been doing a lot of preparation, especially like for vintage matches, especially like the last few weeks, like getting prepared for this event. You've had a lot of people swinging through the podcast, which we'll talk about more here in a minute, to kind of get you prepared for things. How'd that help you out coming to this event?
Yeah, it was actually on my stream, and so I stream every Monday. And so what I've been able to do for the last 4 weeks is I've had sort of who I know to be some masters of vintage themselves. So I had Tom Martell that came on, of course, first week to help me through a draft. I had Jacob Van Lunen, who I know has had a lot of success, and of course, writes for you guys. I had Kenji Numathanami. He helped me out third week, and last week, 4 hours before I was going to jump on my plane to make the journey, I had Frank and Melissa on as well. So it's been really good. It's been so beneficial to be able to kind of get that hands-on, directed experience into the format.
In addition to your stream, you've also got quite a successful little podcast, if I'm not mistaken. Little is that's the wrong word to choose. You've got an insanely popular podcast. Goes by the name of The A-Team.
Yeah, that's correct. We've been doing it for about 4 years now. I've got my 3 best friends in the world that are on the show. It's so weird doing these shows. It's all available on manadeprived.com, of course, and iTunes, so you guys can look that up. But it's so surreal to me that I'm so close to these guys that I hang out with, for 2 hours every week via Skype, and I'd give blood for them. It's amazing. They're like family. So I'm super, super proud to be a part of that team.
You're a nice, fun, excitable guy. It's been, if you haven't had an opportunity to experience this yet, anytime you are able to hang out with Scotty, he is a karaoke master, and you've convinced me tomorrow night to make that a thing. So we'll be looking forward to going out, having a lot of fun, and really appreciate you taking the time to sit here and talk with us.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm excited. Now we just need to wrap it up and bring it home.
RIP or WRIP?
Oh, no, wrap it up.
Yeah.
We're going to RIP the Wizards team, but we're going to wrap up our...
All right, well played. All right, well, thanks a bunch for dropping by. We'll check out the next round.
Thanks, Nate Price. I'm really enjoying that Between One Fern set that we're using for the interviews.
Around one fern.
No, between one fern. I'm taking the long global view.
I see. We're all between that fern.
Yes, we are all between that fern. Absolutely. So yeah, big community comeback. This is, we were talking about, do you think it took them around to figure out all those 90s cards, or?
We'll see how this round goes. I still like Wizards in this format.
Okay. I mean, and they're still ahead.
Yeah, they're up 2 matches.
They still got 2 matches clear of the field here, but...
that was an important round, though. I mean, you don't want to let them run away with it.
Yeah. So there we see the scoreboard. 21 points for the community in Vintage Master. That's 7 wins. 9 wins for Wizards. And then you see, the other formats that are coming up. Ironroot Chef, which...
so many points in that format.
Yeah,
I mean, not only does it get 2 lines,
right,
but that judgment line is bigger than any of the other lines on there.
Absolutely. So each player can get up to 9 points by winning 3 matches in Ironroot Chef. But each player can virtually win another 5 matches on Flavor.
Yeah. 15 points possible. Now, who are the 3 judges?
The 3 judges are Graham Stark, James Turner, And I believe Nate
Nate
Holt
Holt?
will be Skyping in or wizarding in.
Wizarding
using
in.
some sort of wizardry to appear.
Sitting at home watching Magic Online.
Yeah.
Not wearing pants.
Why would you be wearing pants if you were watching Magic Online?
No idea.
And so there's that is a huge, and it's really going to be interesting to me to see which team can really embrace that flavor aspect.
Now last year there were people on the community team that won all 3 matches and got 0 flavor points.
Oh, hi,
right?
Reed Duke.
Reed Duke.
Reed Duke went 3-0, but basically just took his junk reanimator deck that he'd been dominating standard with and like nodded in the direction of flavor with 1 or 2 cards, and he was pummeled by the judge staff.
Funny.
Or the judge panel, I should say in this case. But yeah, he was just, and so he got, there were people who were like, well, I got as many points as you did, and I didn't even win a match. So this is going to be huge, and we were talking to
What is it? It's 5 secret ingredients is how this works?
5 secret ingredients.
Nobody
yeah.
knows what the secret
No one knows
ingredients
what the secret ingredients are. Then you need
And
to
then
build a deck.
They build standard decks? Modern decks?
We don't.
Standard,
we
I
don't
think?
know for sure, but
Oh,
yeah,
we don't know for
it's
sure?
I believe it'll be standard. Yeah.
Crazy.
And then, we were talking to Paul last night, and Paul's like, I'm telling you, I don't care how good our decks are. Like
Yeah.
he's like min-maxing for flavor.
Nice. There's more points for flavor. That seems completely correct, right?
So he's just like, look, I'm just going to be like, I'm going to slam flavor. I'm going to make sure my team is slamming flavor, and then we'll, figure out if the mana is good. We'll figure out if the deck works.
Interesting. Of course, if both teams do that, the flavor points aren't zero-sum. Right? In theory, everybody can get 15 points for flavor,
Correct.
right? No
Correct.
zero-sum there. I mean, I'm sure some of them will be more flavorful
Yeah.
than others, but...
Well,
Pretty
then
funny.
and then it just becomes
Now the matches matter.
If both teams just build flavor decks, not worry as much about. Then we got a slap fight for 3 rounds.
Right. The wet noodle fight.
Yeah.
Hitting each other with wet noodles until one of them eventually breaks.
Yes. So that's going to be very exciting. And again, in the cards that these players are asked to play with, just last year,
Sure.
they're not cards that you will always normally play with.
Do you remember last year's cards?
I remember that Conjured Currency was one of last year's cards.
Right.
What I
remember that
don't
now.
remember is what Conjured Currency even does.
Oh, I remember that Aaron Forsyth was so obsessed with the Conjured Currency deck, he kept tuning it after the event. He wrote an article afterwards. Talking about, I built the Conjured Currency deck this way, and it was actually kind of fun, and I could have done these other things. Speaking of Aaron Forsyth, looks like we'll have him in the feature match area for round 3.
Excellent.
Playing against Björn Andreasson. That'll be a good one. Other matches this round, Frank Lepore is playing Ryan Spain. Scott MacCallum
that's pretty
versus
good.
Matt Gregory. Sean Plott versus Tom Lapilli. Tom Ross versus Helen Bergeau. Mariah plays Mike Turian. Cheon v. Humphreys, and Erin Campbell v. Worth Wolpert.
That would be a good one for Helen to get on the board against. She's like, I don't have any wins yet, but I beat Tom Ross. That's a nice confidence building booster.
Sure.
So. I haven't gotten a chance to see. We haven't gotten a chance to see Bjorn play at all. But he was definitely blue-red, prophetic bolt, like all sorts of cool stuff. Feels like a deck that might get punished by Aaron's Hymn to Thorax and Mesmeric Fiends.
Sure.
And, you're dirtling around as blue-red while falling Ascari.